It wasn't until somebody used this language that I realized, like, oh, this is a brand trip. This is a brand trip. Like, I went on my first brand trip this year. Like, the experience that I feel like I'm in a season where I'm reaping the benefits of what I've sowed. Like, the seeds are starting to bloom. When the energy is not there, that's when you rest.
Friends and beauty, yeah, the vibe stay lit. Community strong, we legit, that's it. Stories, lessons, gems we share freely. Learn, laugh, glow, we all we lead and truly. It's the Friends and Beauty podcast with your best friend in beauty.
Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Look, I need you to get excited, okay? Today is New Year's Eve, which is insane. Tomorrow is January 1st, 2026. Like, if you've made it this far, like if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, or if you're listening or watching on YouTube, we have officially we're like crossing the threshold. We've already crossed the threshold of like the first and last Sunday of the year. I've never even thought about that before. I think I saw that on social media on Sunday, and it was like you've officially experienced the first Sunday and the last Sunday of the year. Like, that's so cool. But tomorrow is New Year's Day, and here we are again. Listen, like, here we are again. The year went by so fast. And because we are at the end of the year, I just want to do like a year in review type of thing and just kind of reflect on some of the things that happened this year that maybe you know about or maybe you don't know about. Also, I do want to give a shout out really quick to Shayla, who won the Favorite Things giveaway last week. The winner was announced last Wednesday on Instagram. So shout out to Shayla Monet for winning the Minty Cosmetics Favorite Things giveaway. I'll be sending out your stuff soon after the new year, girl. I got you. But yeah, like I was saying, I just wanted to do like a year in review because one of the things that I always tell people before they enter into the new year or before they start setting new goals for the year is always to reflect on what happened for the year, the good, the bad, and indifferent, any lessons learned, like a whole thing. Like, I have a whole checklist. But the thing is, like, I always want people to make a list of 50 things that you accomplished. And anytime I say this, people are like, oh my God, 50 things, that sounds like a lot. But once you start writing the list, like, you be like, oh yeah, I did this, I did that. And it does, and you really don't even have to overthink it. So I wanted to kind of go through some things that happened this year. What I did was I just went to my phone and because I literally put everything on my calendar. So I went through my phone, went through each month to see some things, some fun things that I could share with you that I did this year. And I feel like a lot of them I vlogged. So if you want to see the behind the scenes of it, which is so cool, thank God for content, you can go and see like the behind the scenes of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this year in review for Friends in Beauty slash your best friend in beauty. And this is not everything, but I tell you, once I started going through this list, I was like, oh, okay, a rest was well needed. Okay, a rest was well needed. Also, it's so crazy. That's why I want you to reflect because it's so like by the time you get to this point when New Year is about to begin, it is so easy to forget about all the amazing things that you did in like the first or second quarter. So let me tell you, let me pull up my little list. Let me pull up my little list. Let's get into this year in review. Let's start off with January 2025. That sounded so DC. January. Let's start off with January 2025. So January 2025, at the top of the year, I was able to start back teaching classes at Bennett. That's so crazy, right? So if you don't know, I'm the Makeup 101 instructor at Bennett Career Institute, which is a cosmetology school in Washington, D.C., but they also have aesthetics, barbering. They have cosmetology. Do they have nails? They have natural hair, and they also have Makeup 101. So when I became a makeup artist, that's where I went to learn how to do makeup, and I had my full circle moment back in like 2018, I believe, when I started teaching at Bennett. So it's a 6-week course, teaching you just the basics of makeup. So we started back this year because I had a good run between like 2018 up until pandemic time. And then once the pandemic hit, it was just like crickets, like trying to get people to enroll, or I'm not sure they just didn't couldn't figure out like how to really facilitate the classes. We were wearing masks and stuff like that. So we had our first session since the pandemic this year, and I went on to teach 2 sessions this year at the school. So hopefully, there'll be some more, coming in 2026. They said that they wanted to start back in January again. So if they have enough people enrolled, then I'll be back there in January. But had an amazing time with my students this year. I had a good group of a good group of students this year, and I swear every time that I teach, I always learn something new about myself. I always learn another way to articulate things or just new ways to explain things. I learn so much from my students as well because they bring their own tips and tricks to the class and everything like that from TikTok and all the things. So yeah. January. We kicked off January with education, which is something that I really, really enjoy and which is something that I hope that I can continue to do more of in 2026 is education. Absolutely love, love teaching. So that was January. And if you haven't noticed, I'm gonna, throw some stuff up on the screen to kind of follow along on the journey with some visuals. I feel like I do have at least one vlog, at least 1 or 2 vlogs from this year's Makeup 101 class. I feel like I definitely vlog. Yeah, I definitely vlogged a few times because I vlogged when Kendra came. Shout out to Kendra and Kanae. When Kendra and Kanae came and did the bridal demo at the school, and Val came. Val's is it makeup artistry or beauty? Val, my cousin in beauty. She came and did a bridal demo for the second class. Who else came? Kai came to visit. This was a good session this year. So shout out to my friends in beauty who always come through and support me, whether it's teaching in the class or some of y'all come through as models. I had a lot of my friends in beauty come through as models this year. So shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. I can't name all of y'all, but love y'all. Love y'all mucho, mucho, mucho. So that was January. January kicked off education. February, yes. Oh my gosh. February, I spoke to Bobby Riley's artist to artist community. So Bobby Riley is a friend in beauty. She's located in LA. She's a celebrity makeup artist. She has been on the podcast twice. Just a gem. Like Bobby is such a gem. It's so cool to talk to. We actually have not even met in person. We've only talked on like the podcast and like on social media. And she invited me to come and speak to her artist to artist community about grants. So I just feel like it's such a blessing when someone reaches out to you to infiltrate their community, like something that they have curated, a group that they have curated that they like this is their baby. They're really like intentional about the information that they're sharing and she invited me, right? So I feel like this year as I go through and I'm looking at my list, I feel like this year was really like a lot of manifestations coming to fruition in the sense of like I put in the work and I've been consistent with a lot of things and now I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor type of thing. That's what this year has really felt like for me with the opportunities that I've gotten. So I spoke to her community artist to artist. It's free to join, I believe. So check that out. I think I try to leave the link down in the description. If I forget, just let me know. But I spoke to them. I'm not a grant expert at all, but I feel like I have a little bit more insight into grants as a beauty pro just because I've been applying and I won a couple of grants. So because I've been applying and I won a couple of grants, I was just giving them some tips and some tricks and some resources to look into for their grants and everything. I've thrown up videos here on the Friends of Beauty channel many, many a times of just like listing out grants. If you follow me on Instagram, then you see I always share grants that beauty pros can apply for. So 2026, I'll be sharing more because we getting other people's coins. We getting other people's coins this year. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So we will be applying for some grants. Make sure you stay tuned so you can join the Friends of Beauty community in 2026 because we get into the money this year. Okay. So shout out to Bobby for inviting me to speak to the artist community. They were so receptive. They were so pumped up. I got so much feedback. I remember like people coming into my DMs afterwards and, just thanking me for sharing and everything. So like I said, I'm not a grant expert, but I know the people to refer you to, and I know where to find the grants for the most part. So she invited me. So grateful that she saw me as a resource or a trusted source to share with her community in that way. Hey, Bobby. Hopefully I get to see you in 2026. Like I need to come to LA so we can connect. Let's see. Oh my gosh. March. This is just the first quarter. March. Let me tell you, this blew my mind. Okay, so if y'all remember, last year I won the NAACP and L'Oreal Inclusive Beauty Fund grant. It was $10,000. Do you remember that? So if you don't, I got a video somewhere on YouTube with my reaction, like my literal, like live reaction, real tears. Okay, $10,000. So I think it was like 40 of us, or at least close to 40 of us that won from all over the United States, even Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic too, girl. That's not the United States, but the girl lived in DR. So when we won the grant, they had us all hop on a call, like a Zoom call, just to like meet everybody, meet the Salon Centric team and like everything like that. And it was on that call that they told us that there was going to be an in-person experience in March. So that was like at the top of the year, maybe like I think January they told us this. So they told us the dates and I literally like put it on my calendar. I'm like, I love me a good trip. So I'm not gonna miss this. Put it on my calendar and just kind of like was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because when we applied for the grant, I don't recall seeing anything about an in-person experience. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Tell me why. Okay, so like March is approaching, we start getting, details and stuff like that about the upcoming trip. And once we get there, it wasn't until somebody used this language that I realized, like, oh, this is a brand trip. This is a brand trip. Like, I went on my first brand trip this year. Like, the experience that L'Oreal and Salon Centric laid out for us was just like truly unforgettable and mind blowing, especially for me to experience something like this for the first time. Like I watch YouTube vlogs and stuff all the time with the girlies going on brand trips and stuff, but I didn't even realize I was on a brand trip until like maybe like the second day. But all the people that came who won the grants were amazing. All of the Salon Centric team, everyone's amazing. They lined up speakers for us, like lots of education. We got to go shopping in the Salon Centric store, like a little shopping spree. They gave us some money to shop. We got to go shopping in the L'Oreal store. So the L'Oreal store they have in the building is for employees only, and they get 50% off. So they had like the brands that's under L'Oreal, like Urban Decay. They had Shea Moisture. They had Kiehl's. They had so much stuff in there. So yeah, it was just a really, really good experience. I met so many people. I actually had a few of the beauty blazers on the podcast to talk about our experience and everything like that. So let me see what episode that was. They came on here and they shared, we just talked about our experience with the whole Salon Syndrome. That was episode 263. So make sure you go back and check that out because some of them, they actually had more experience than me with applying for grants. So I'm so grateful for the connections that I made at the Beauty Blazers event. And it was in Petersburg, Florida. So they literally flew us out. I vlogged the whole thing. So go look for the vlog. They flew us out. I had a driver come and pick me up from the airport. My flight was delayed like 2 or 3 times that day. Driver was still there waiting for me. Took me to the resort. Beautiful room, beautiful resort, beautiful experience. It was just top tier. Everything paid for, like literally. Oh, such a great experience. I'm so glad that that happened this year. I'm so glad that that happened because like just to have an organization like L'Oreal, Salon Centric, NAACP, like really see the vision that I put forth in my application to say we want to invest in you and your business is just, and then just present us with all of this. It was good, good experience. So that was the first quarter. I mean, not bad. started back at Bennett, spoke to virtual community artist to artist, and went on a brand trip. The first quarter did not disappoint. Okay, as you can see. So going into April, oh my gosh, what episode was she on? I'm so glad that I have the things pulled up. So on episode 265 of the Friends of Beauty podcast, we were just talking about grants, right? So I had Stormy Banks, who is the CEO of the Pink Print firm, and she is a grant expert. She's a beauty pro turned grant expert, has a Pink Print firm where they help you with your grant proposal. They help you apply for grants. They have so many resources. They have workshops, all the things, right? So I attended one of Stormy's workshops, I think 2024, actually. This is 2025. So yeah, 2024, I attended one of her workshops online and just been like obsessed with her, obsessed with grants and everything. Always wanted to get her on the podcast. And then her people actually reached out for her to be on the podcast, which is crazy. A lot of that has happened this year where I've wanted people and then they reach out first. God's timing. So episode 265, Stormy came on and dropped so many gems about applying for grants. And then she invited me to come to her women's marketplace event, which was in April. So she wanted me to come down and basically just share my testimony about grants, like just talk to the audience about my process for grants, applying, winning, why they should be applying, like basically to get them pumped up. So hundreds, this is a beautiful event too. Did I vlog that event? I can't remember if I vlogged the women's marketplace event, but I know for sure I put some stuff up on Instagram. But absolutely amazing, like executed. It was like a marketplace of all female vendors in one room. I saw my girl Tania from Texture Crush. She's been on the podcast since seeing her there. I saw her there with her brand. And then the other room was just like panels and discussions and stuff like that. So I had the opportunity to stand up in front of a room full of women with Stormy and tell my story about Grant. So Stormy flew me out, y'all. She flew me out. Hold up, that's the second time so far. Did I get flew out any other time this year? Let me look at my list. Okay, no. So I got flew out twice this year. Oh, okay. So Stormy flew me out to Atlanta to speak at the Women's Marketplace event, and that was an amazing experience. I met some cool people there. I met a girl, another makeup artist, actually. I don't remember her name. I met another makeup artist there. I think she lived in Baltimore or something like that. And we connected with the lady that was sitting beside me. I probably need to reach back out and see how they're doing. But made some really cool connections, learned a lot. Definitely appreciated Stormy flying me out to come speak to her tribe. Like I'm saying, like that's a big deal for somebody to see something in you, fly you out, or just invite you to speak to their tribe. Right? So moving on to May. This is just making me smile because once you get to the end of the year, you feel like, what the hell did I even do? I don't feel like I made any progress. That's why it's so good to like go back through this because just talking about it to you and like reliving it is making me smile. So May, we had two things happen in May. So first thing that happened in May was the Hair Education Beauty Summit in New Jersey. Same weekend as the makeup show, New York and everything, but I was invited to be a moderator for the Wisdom Well panel. Had an amazing panel of beautiful women who do different things in the hair industry. I've had one of them on a podcast so far. Laverne is coming soon. Wanda, I need to get. Stasia, I need to get. Yeah, Jazzy. Hey, Jazzy, I've been watching you on Housewives of Potomac, girl. Okay, they need to give you a. They don't even have no thing. What is the Potomac? I know Atlanta has a peach, but Potomac, they need to give you a robe. Anyways, so Hair Education Beauty Summit was amazing. That was that my second time moderating the panel? I can't remember, but I got that opportunity because I had interviewed Nicole Schuler, who is the founder of the Hair Education Beauty Summit. I had her on the podcast last year. This was their second one. Blew my mind. I don't even know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. But I had her on the podcast last year, and I just told her like, yeah, if you ever need a moderator for any of your panels, like, let me know. And she stayed true to her word and had her people reach out to me to moderate that panel. It was a paid opportunity, so your girl got paid. Okay, it was on a big, big stage. I vlogged it. So you can go back and look at the vlog because for some reason I can't find like the actual like footage of us on stage. But when I tell you they escorted us, I will never forget this. They escorted us from the VIP lounge, which was a good decent walk up to the stage. They had us surrounded by security like on each side. It was so like interesting. Like us surrounded by security, escorting us to the stage and everything. But um shout out to Sabret, shout out to Milan that I saw there. It was just such a cool experience to see some familiar faces from the DMV in the audience. I was so excited to do that because I am getting into doing more things like that as time progresses with me having the podcast. The podcast has opened up so many opportunities for me. It has created so much visibility for me in the sense of wanting to do more media type of stuff, red carpet, panel hosting, and things like that. So that was a great experience. Thank you so much, Nicole, for that. And they invited me back for 2026. So I'll be back for 2026, moderating the panel. Well, like I said, like go back and watch the vlog because I don't know what I was expecting, but it definitely exceeded my expectations for sure. So if you haven't been to the Hair Education Beauty Summit, make sure you attend in 2026. The second thing that happened in May is I taught a makeup workshop virtually for the Miss HBT HBT Miss HBCU teen pageant. This is an organization that I have been working with for at least I want to say 3 or 4 years. I think off the top of my head, maybe like 4 years. I've been teaching their virtual makeup class for the contestants of the pageant, and it's always such a fun time. The girls come from all over the United States. They are college age, so they're like most of them are going into college within the following year. So it's always really cool to give them a little, makeup lesson. Yeah, it's just always really cool to do a little makeup lesson. So I showed them how to do a full face and also so they get some little tips and tricks for the pageant if they don't have a makeup artist. But I showed them how to do a full face of makeup, basically really simple. One side was a liquid foundation with Urban Decay, the other side was a cream foundation. So yeah, that was fun. Always have a great time with the girls. And then in June, yes, I had one event this year. I co-hosted an event called Lights Camera Content with my girl Kai, One of a Kai Artistry, One of a Kai Consulting. We hosted Lights Camera Content, which basically was a workshop to help y'all get y'all stuff together and stop making excuses when it comes to getting that content done and out there. It was so much fun. Um, we had a nice group of people who came through. Then we also had a panel, so I got to moderate the panel, of course, with some local influencers. We had Muslima, we had Sydney, we had Morgan, and then Kai was also on the panel as well. But yeah, a really, really cool event. We had it at Yours Truly, which is a really, really aesthetic, really pretty hotel here in DC. And yeah, they sponsored it. They sponsored it. Me and Kai went there one day just to meet up, and I was like, we should probably have the event here because I like that hotel. I like staying there, and I've been to some events there. So we just talked to the events person, told them what the thing was, emailed them, and they sponsored us. All you gotta do is ask. All you gotta do is ask. And now in hindsight, I'm like, Dad, I should have asked for more. I should have asked for AV. I should have asked for this. But it still worked out. So we had a really, really cool day. They also was kind enough. One of the things we asked for was a hotel room to create like lifestyle content into. So we had access to a hotel room and like the ballroom area and the common areas of the hotel to create content. So we are thinking about doing another lights camera content probably closer to the beginning, like in the first quarter, maybe. Don't hold me to it. But it's in the works. It's in discussion right now. So stay tuned for that. That was June. Let me just pause for a second. Like, let me just pause because this is a lot. This is a lot. Anytime I talk to my therapist and I like tell her what I did for like the week, she be saying I do a lot, but I be thinking like I'm just doing like normal stuff. I'm like, it's not even that busy. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is just June. And I feel like this is a lot. Maybe the burnout feeling was rightfully so. I'm just like, this is a lot because all these like the content workshop that takes time to plan, traveling, speaking, and like all the things. Like, sheesh. All right. So, July, like I mentioned, this podcast has been bringing about so many opportunities. July, I was able to be the red carpet correspondent for the National Beauty Culturist League's President's Gala. I forget which annual President's Gala it was, but they were bringing in a new president. If you have not heard about the National Beauty Culturist League, Google it and see what you can find and let me know. I am trying to find a way to get somebody on the podcast to talk about this because I feel like I just learned about it maybe a couple of years ago, but this was like one of my friends in beauty. She's a part of the National Beauty Cultures League, which is just an organization for beauty pros. Like they got sorority and fraternity, y'all. Like if you didn't go to college and you're a beauty pro, you could be in a sorority fraternity through this organization. You can get your doctorate in like cosmetology, your doctorate through this program. So I just did I'm still learning, but I was able to do red carpet interviews with like people who have been a part of the organization for like 60 or 70 years, like no lie. Like these people were like old, like old, and just to be able to talk to them and just hear their stories and soak up some of the knowledge in just a short amount of time. I need to get them. I feel like their story needs to be told before they be gone because they're very old. Like the guy that I interviewed, he got to be like in his 80s, like for real. So I need them to be able to share this information before they go. So it was really an honor to be able to do the red carpet for that, and I got to stay for the entire program. And watch them honor the new president. They all had so much amazing things to say about her, and she's really trying hard. From what she told me, and for what I can see from being at the event, she's really trying hard to bridge the gap between the people that are there now and like bringing in some new and freshness because older people were kind of like they're kind of stuck in their ways. So she's really trying to bring in some new faces, some new freshness. I saw a lot of people there too that I know from the beauty community. I'm like, why am I just now knowing about this? Why am I just now knowing about this? So shout out to the National Beauty Culturist League. I look forward to learning more about you and your history and everything. Then guess what, y'all? After July, I took a break, which is rightfully so. I was going nonstop since January, and then I had an unfortunate event that happened to me in July that I don't think I'm ready to share yet. That I was like, I need to sit down. I need to sit down. I need to rest. I need to recalibrate. I need to feel my feelings, which I'm still feeling. But yeah, I needed a break. I took a break from the podcast. I feel like I'm still kind of taking a break because I feel like I'm still kind of taking a break, honestly. But I mean, things are still moving, but I have not since July. I haven't gotten back into the swing that I was in at the beginning of the year when I was like ripping and running. So I saw something on social media one time that was like, when the energy is there, that's when you move. When the energy is not there, that's when you rest. So I've kind of been resting. I've been getting work done. Um, I've still been recording episodes, as you can see, but I'm just doing what I can at this point until the energy resurfaces and then I can go full throttle again. So August, I took a break. And then September, one of my favorite times of the year, when I get to attend the Black Beauty Roster Excellence Luncheon. So I think that was my third time going. That was my third time going to the Black Beauty Roster Excellence Luncheon. The first year that I went is when I received the AJ Crimson Trailblazer Award and a $10,000 grant from Tarte and BBR. Surprise. I knew about the award, but the grant was a total surprise. So been back to the BBR Excellence Luncheon this year. BBR knows how to throw an event. All the who's in the industry, including your girl. be in the room. I'm always so starstruck. Like I see so many people in the industry that I've admired for years who I haven't met before or who I haven't seen maybe since the previous year. Lots of new faces this year. Lots of new faces, which I really enjoy because, sometimes you go to events, you just see the same people over and over again, but lots of new faces, connections made. Iman received an award. I think she got the Icon Award, but Iman received an award, literally got teary eyed, like when I saw her, because like I saw her name on the program, but it really did not even click that it was Iman until I saw her. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning in person. It's crazy how beautiful she is. Absolutely stunning. But yeah, Black Beauty roster. It's always a great time. I'm always so appreciative and grateful to have the invitation to be in community. Love everything that the Black Beauty roster is doing. I shout their name from the heavens anytime somebody asks Black Beauty roster. I tell my new students about Black Beauty roster. Just love everything that they're doing. Plus, Maud, shout out to Maud. Maud is one of my clients. So yeah, I do Maud's makeup. So she's here in the DC area. So just love seeing everything that she's accomplished so far because it's moving and moving pretty quickly. It's so inspired by everything that they're doing, the community that they're building, and the impact. Yeah. So if you're not familiar with Black Beauty Roster, check them out on Instagram or their website. Sign up to be on the roster. They actually post jobs pretty frequently, I believe, because every now and then I get alerts for jobs and I apply and sometimes I get them. Okay. So make sure you sign up to be on the roster and, attend some of their events, the education, everything top tier. October, another opportunity to speak in front of somebody's tribe. So I was invited to the AAIM Beauty Summit. I know it stands for something, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But the AAIM Beauty Summit was in Maryland, the National Harbor. And when I got the invitation, I was like, I just still be shocked. I don't know why. I got to get used to it. I still be shocked when people reach out for me because I feel like I'm always reaching out to people because I want them on the podcast or something, but when the opposite happens and they request me, I just be like so flabbergasted, so appreciative, gratitude, of course. So I was invited to speak on a panel and I was so tickled that my girl Monty Green, who is the owner of Velvet Wax and Beauty, was on the panel with me. Me and Monty go back like at least like 10 years. And she's been on the podcast twice. So I was really excited to be alongside great company and speak on that panel. Like I said, so much visibility. I'm so appreciative. So much visibility has come from the podcast, and people are really finding me and finding value in the things that I'm sharing and requesting me. So I was so happy to be able to be in that room as well, and looking forward to connecting with the ladies from the AAIM Beauty Summit. I know they have a school out in Maryland. And they're doing some amazing things. They just got an award recently, so looking forward to connecting with them in 2026. So appreciative for that opportunity to share my journey with other beauty pros, and they also had like their graduation ceremony that day. So really, really cool. I saw a familiar face in the audience too. She was from Primp, from a brow studio in the area. I was like, I went up to her later. I was like, "You look so familiar." That's just my vibe. That's what I do. Hey, friends in beauty. If you're a professional makeup artist or beauty pro who is tired of juggling multiple tools to run your business, I got great news for you. Beauty Pro Funnels is here to simplify your life and take your business to the next level. Unlike other platforms like Wix, Squarespace, or Acuity, Beauty Pro Funnels was created by a makeup artist for makeup artists. This is the world's first all-in-one software that helps you book clients, sell your products, and even launch courses all in one place. No need for separate subscriptions that drain your wallet or tools that don't speak your language as a beauty pro. With Beauty Pro Funnels, you're not just getting another booking tool. You're unlocking the ability to create multiple revenue streams. So whether you're behind the chair or not, you're making money. Imagine accepting bookings, selling your beauty products, and offering courses all without the stress of managing separate systems. That could be a big headache. Let me break it down to you one more time. Your website, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. Your portfolio, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. Your booking site, Build it on Beauty Pro Funnels, and your e-commerce site, host it in Beauty Pro Funnels. Want to offer beauty courses or digital products? You can sell them inside of Beauty Pro Funnels, and you'll be able to send invoices, digital contracts, newsletters, and do all of your marketing directly from your Beauty Pro Funnels account. It's mind blowing. Listen, you're going to save hundreds of dollars every single month by replacing over 10 platforms when you make the switch to Beauty Pro Funnels like Wix, Squarespace, Acuity, WordPress, Vagaro, Honeybooks, 17 Hats, Dubsado, MailChimp, Klaviyo, Kajabi, DocuSign, even Shopify. It's crazy. I know you got at least one of those. And here's the best part. Tayana and her team spent over a year building plug and play templates into your account for pretty much everything. So you never have to start from scratch at all. So all of your appointment confirmations, reminders, and payment reminders and stuff like that for your clients, they have already been written out for you. You can even gather reviews and referrals all on autopilot. You'll free up so many hours of time each week so you can focus on what you love, your artistry. Plus, with their mobile app, you can manage your entire business from the palm of your hand, send invoices, schedule appointments, and even take payments on the go. I believe in Beauty Pro Funnels so much that I recently moved the Friends of Beauty site to Beauty Pro Funnels, and I am loving it. It's a game changer because it's not just a platform. I swear it is like having your personal business assistant designed specifically for makeup artists and beauty pros like you. So here's the deal. If you want to see what all the hype is about, visit getbeautyprofunnels.com/friends to get a personalized tour and see how Beauty Pro Funnels can transform your business today. That's getbeautyprofunnels.com/friends because you deserve the best tool for your beauty business. So we're nearing the end of the year. We're in the last quarter. Okay. We got 2 more things. So November, y'all. Let me tell you one thing about me. One thing about your friend, your best friend in beauty, I enjoy taking pictures, okay? I enjoy taking pictures, just like, regular life. And I've only, I've done photo shoots for myself, but anytime I do photo shoots for anybody else, it's always, I just realized this, it's always when a friend in beauty needs me. So I have a new friend in beauty. Her name is Olivia. And Olivia DM'd me and requested me for a photo shoot. So she wanted to do my hair. She was going to be a part of, she was shooting for a calendar. Her business was shooting for a calendar that's supposed to come out, I think, 2026. And she was being featured as the business owner. So she wanted to show some different styles and stuff. She wanted to show her work on the calendar. So she did a Last Supper type of theme shoot with me. She did my hair and I think maybe 3 other girls. Yes. 3 other girls that was there. She did their hair, her hair, my hair, and there was a guy in the shoot. So we did our Last Supper thing. So I'll show you my outfit and everything like that. But the hairstyle that I had before this, that ponytail, she did that. Olivia did that. And y'all see, I just took it out. I was rocking with that style for a minute, but I realized I only do photo shoots when my friends in beauty call on me. So if you ever need me, okay, I might fancy myself to be a little. I told him, I might start modeling. I might do some what's it called? Commercial type of. I think I could be a commercial model. I need some more representation with locks and everything. So I think I could be a commercial model. But yeah, I really enjoy taking pictures. So anytime my friends in beauty call on me and they're like, I'm doing a photo shoot, can you help? Here you go. Here you go, girl. Do my hair. Do whatever you need to do. I don't know if I've done a makeup one yet, but always with the hair. So Olivia, got to get her on the podcast. And then last but not least, December, earlier this month, because today is the last day of the month. So earlier this month, I was asked to MC B Class, which was hosted by Tayana Robinson and Sonia Rodriguez. I do not have any footage from that because it was virtual and I was doing my job. So I wasn't necessarily recording at the same time. I could have had something set up to record. So I don't have any visuals, but if you was in B Class and you see me, drop a comment down. Drop a comment down below. I did have someone reach out to me and tell me I did a really good job. a really good job with emceeing. It was really such a pleasure to support Tayana and Sonia in that way. They both have been so instrumental in my journey as a makeup artist and as an educator. So to be able to like open it up and warm the people up, tell them about my story, tell them about Sonia and Tayana, and just build the energy for the room and stuff was like really, really, really cool. So thank y'all so much for thinking about me to do that. I really enjoyed it. I was in the chat the whole time, engaging with the audience and soaking up the gems that I can to plan out my 2026 and everything. But yeah, that I mean, this is what I shared. Okay. This is like the exciting thing. This is not even everything that I did this year, but this is still a pretty hefty list. And one thing that I really want to focus on helping people do in 2026 is really get their visibility popping. Like, there's so many things that you could do content wise as far as visibility goes. You don't necessarily have to have a podcast. You don't have to have a podcast like me because trust and believe me, it's not it's not as easy as it may seem. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to a podcast, but there are certain ways that you can create your content to position yourself as an expert, as an authority in this industry so that you can start if that's what you want, because everybody don't want to be out there like that. But if that's what you want and you want more visibility and you want to know how to start attracting other opportunities to yourself that don't necessarily have to do with makeup application, um, join the Friends of Beauty community. Yeah, I'll leave the QR code here and the link down below. But definitely join the Friends of Beauty community because I believe that's what I want to lean more heavily into in 2026 is really helping you get yourself out there more visibility. We don't want to see your hand in the content anymore. We want to see you. We want to know more about you. So I can honestly say, like, just looking at this list, I feel like I'm in a season where I'm reaping the benefits of what I've sowed. Like the seeds are starting to bloom. I feel like, yeah, because if you have a garden or if you ever grown something from seed to like a plant, you know that all the seeds don't necessarily sprout, right? So I feel like I'm in a season where the seeds that I did plant are sprouting. And I could honestly say I feel like it's positioning. The way that I positioned myself with the podcast, the way that I positioned myself when I started to become an educator and teach, like positioning, yes, I'm a makeup artist, but positioning myself as that expert is what I really want to help you with. So make sure you stay tuned. I want to encourage you to whatever you decide to do, find out what your consistency looks like and stick to that. This is all a product of consistency. Like all of these things that I'm seeing. Imagine if I had started the podcast and then never like I made it maybe to a year, never posted an episode again. None of these people would know about me. None of these people would know. The National Beauty Culturals League, my friend in beauty reached out. She told me because she had seen what I was doing with my podcast. I'm talking to people on the podcast and I'm pitching myself basically like, hey, let me know if you need a panelist. Closed mouths don't get fed. So determine what your level of consistency is and stick to that for 2026. Stay tuned for some tips on how to set yourself up to be perceived and taken seriously as an expert and authority in this season. And I hope that you enjoyed this year in review. Like, if you feel compelled to, I would love to know some of the things that you did this year that you're like super pumped up about. Share them in the comments. I want to know what you did this year, and maybe if you want to share something that you have planned for 2026 that need support on, let us know. That's what we're here for. So, 2026, here we come. Here we come with our promises all over again. All right, so Happy New Year, friends of beauty. Happy, happy, happy New Year. Thank you so much for rocking out with me for the whole year. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for everything. Just being in community. Like, I literally cannot do this without you. It's only because I know that there's someone else on the other side of this that is tuned in and watching that I can continue to do this. So, let's grow this community. Let's grow this community in 2026. Let's do more fun things together. Let's have more meaningful conversations. Let's have some fun. Let's do all the things. Let's make some money. Let's get other people's money. All the things. Okay. So I hope that you enjoyed this year in review. And I look forward to killing it again in 2026 with more rest, more intentional rest locked up in there. All right. So thank you so much for tuning into the last episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast for 2025. And I'll see you in the new year. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.